D, wait for it, light bulb.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? So for this video, I am being joined again by Speed Force Spectre. Welcome, Speed Force. How are you doing?
I'm good. Hope you're doing good too.
Awesome. So today, you guys, we are going to talk about Blue Sky Studios because they are being closed down. Disney is not going to keep them going. But before we get into it, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithms, and small channels like mine and Speed Force's usually get pushed to the back of the line. So I please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. And also subscribe to and notifications, all that good stuff to all of these smaller YouTubers. I'm pretty sure they would appreciate it. So Spectre, so we are going to talk about Blue Sky Studios. So a real quick question, what is your favorite Blue Sky Studios film?
Definitely the Ice Age films until Continental Drift. That's where I stopped. Rio and the Peanuts movie is at like the very, very top.
Oh, the Peanuts movie. Okay, gotcha. I do not like the Peanuts movie. I don't like that whole genre at all. Like that franchise.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah. Okay. So just so you guys know, I don't know if you guys have checked this out. This is like a super sad story. At least I think so. I love animation, as does Spectre. And this is a sad story, but at the same time, it's kind of no surprise. So Blue Sky Studios is shutting down, and their last day will be in April. Now, this studio is not located in Burbank, California, like most animation studios these days. Well, in the U.S., they're actually located in Greenwich, Connecticut, which is on the opposite side of the country. And I think that personally, the long distance from the other major animation studios did not help in this situation. Would you agree with that, Spectre?
Illumination, I think they're located in France.
Oh, right on.
So I'm not entirely sure about that one necessarily, but it could have been one of the major reasons why it happened.
Right on. Well, something that, and I don't know what articles you have read. I just read the Deadline article that talked about this. But one thing that they did say that their IPs will live on at Disney, and in fact, Ice Age. In fact, you just mentioned Ice Age. Ice Age is getting its own Disney Plus show. I don't know if you saw that. But which, how do you feel about that? The Ice Age TV show. Will you be watching that?
I will definitely check it out. I'm not entirely sure how many Ice Age, or not Ice Age, but Blue Sky films are gonna jump to Disney, because the only ones they mentioned was the Ice Age one, of course, and then the Rio spin-off show. I have no clue if that's still in the works, but I'm curious to see if those two end up still being actual things they end up doing, or they just completely axe it.
For sure. Yeah. And so one thing that was really sad that I thought was that they are not keeping any of the animators. None of the talent is moving over to Disney, which I thought was super sad. I was like, oh, you can't save one of them, because it's always sad when somebody loses their job / their income. And so I was just that part of the article and the whole story overall really made me sad. How do you feel about that?
The firing didn't exactly sit right with me, mostly because animation's not live action. Live action, you could just kind of easily get in there few problems, but animation's a hard industry to even get another job. So I'm hoping the people who got fired, they either move them to Disney or whatever, or they're able to jump ship to probably Illumination, because Illumination is like half of that company is run by ex Blue Sky employees.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
So maybe that works out. I don't know. But
Right on. Yeah.
That part didn't really sit right with me.
Yeah, I really hate it. It really bugs me when I really don't like when anybody loses their income. It really it pokes my heart.
Same.
So I did find it very interesting that they didn't think any of the animators were worth bringing over to Disney. I thought that was just I don't know. Like I know a lot of people want to I love Disney, but at the same time, like sometimes I just want to be all like, "Oh, you guys can't help a brother out. Like these people now have to feed their families with nothing."
Exactly.
So but I do think that one thing that probably doesn't help is that I think it has to do with finances. I mean, out of this whole pandemic, all of the studios, I think Disney is maybe probably suffering the most as far as finances go, just because, when you have like Warner Brothers, they have AT&T, they have a parent company, somebody that can, kind of give them a steady flow of cash. But with Disney, they don't have anybody. It's just Disney. They rely on themselves, parks, merchandise, all that kind of stuff. Do you think that finances played a part in this?
That one's messy, mostly because it's Disney. You can't really tell whether or not, in terms of studio wise, unless you're looking at, box office stuff, you can't really determine finance wise all completely across the board. So that one I can't really answer.
Okay, right on. So, going back to the animators and everything, one thing that I wanted to touch on was that fact that Disney animators right now are working from home, and they're going to be working from home for the whole year of 2021. They're not coming back to like the offices until 2022. And you get stuff like Encanto, Jennifer Lee. The one thing that I loved during the Investor Day was that she said Encanto is a movie about a home made at home, and I keep going back to that because I think I thought I was like, oh, that's a good line. I was like, Jennifer Lee, you should just keep saying that as much as you possibly can. So I found that interesting because I'm all like, Disney did so much for these animators, moving their big fancy computers to their home so they could work at home and not have to come to work during the pandemic. And I go back to the whole thing. It really bums me out that these people's jobs can't be saved,
Right.
during this whole thing. So one thing also that I want to touch on was their last movie that they put out was Spies in Disguise. It didn't do that great. I don't have the specs up of how much it made / how much it cost, but I don't think it did as good as the rest of their movies in the theater or whatnot. But did you like Spies in Disguise?
Yes, I had a good time with that movie.
Right on.
I think
But the movie they were working on was called Nimona. Is that how you say
that's
it?
how you say it. Yep.
Okay, I was reading it, and the whole time I'm like, oh, I'm gonna screw this name up. I don't even know. So Nimona was in production, and of course it was shut down. Now, from what I understand, it was 10 months, and this would be completed. And Disney obviously doesn't think the movie is worth completing because they are just dropping it. They're not even going to try to keep it going. And I really thought that was a bummer. I was like, oh, you can't let these people work for another 10 months to finish a movie that they had already done so much work on. Um, and then a small piece of me wonders if this can be like another Snyder cut where one of the animators is all like he gets the whole movie, but he just takes it home with him, and then he's all like, I'm gonna work with this on my downtime. And then 10 years later, he's like, yo, you guys, I finished it. If you guys wanna, pay me
Yeah,
for my
Nobona is it's an interesting case. And I hate to say this though, but I'm not too shocked
mm-hmm.
that this one got the axe, and I hate that it did because I really like the graphic novel it's based on.
Oh, right on.
But this definitely reminds me of when Lauren Faust, who we were just talking about it before we started this, My Little Pony, and also is worked on Craig McCracken shows, and they're also married. But
Mm-hmm.
when she was working at Sony for her film Medusa, they completely axed that movie and canceled it.
Okay.
And for Nimona, the creator of the new Netflix Shira show, they were working on that, and I'm not shocked they canceled that because only X amount of animation fans know who that is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not too shocked they canceled that one, but also as you brought up, Spies in Disguise did not do well. So, and I've heard from a couple of people the reason why they pushed the movie back a little bit is so in that way Nimona could be worked on more. But I think because this movie was during the Disney merger, I
Mhm.
think they wanted to see how Spies in Disguise would do before they jumped and had Nimona be a thing. And with everything going on right now, see whether or not Blue Sky is worthy of saving or not.
Right on. Yeah, my whole thing with the Nimona thing is just why don't why don't you just let them finish it and then put that on Disney Plus? Just be like, listen, this is a movie that you can just put out there for free. Be like, hey, you guys, you want to stay to Disney Plus a little bit longer and not coast on your subscription? Here's Nimona, the last Blue
Well,
Sky Studios film.
since it's based on a graphic novel, I wouldn't be too shocked if, like you said, they pull a Snyder cut and keep half the stuff that they did work on,
Hmm.
or because I feel like this book could be turned into a mini series on Netflix or be an actual movie. I'm sure someone else could easily pick this back up again if they wanted to.
Right on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was of course the one thing I also thought was like maybe Netflix can, buy the property from Disney, just be like, "Hey, you guys don't want it, but we'll take it," and everything. And again, also Netflix, they're doing their own animated movies, and so maybe they'll pick it up. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. There's always hope, but you never know and everything. Um One thing else that I did write in my notes that Ice Age and Rio are really their only real hits as far as franchises go. I mean, Rio, they only had the one movie. Did they have another movie?
They had to. They had to.
Yeah, I must have not have seen the second one. I just
The
saw the
two,
first one.
I'm not sure if it did well, but critically, I don't think it did too well.
Right
I'm
on.
not entirely sure. Don't quote me on that.
Gotcha. Yeah. 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 So, yeah, overall, this is a really big bummer. I think that I personally don't think there's enough animation studios, in my opinion. I think that when it comes to live action and animation, I do like that live action, but animation, I mean, there's just so many things that they can do in animation that they can't do in live action. Just like I don't know. Like sometimes I see fight scenes and I'm all like, "Oh, that was bad ace," and then you just try to move it into a live action. I'm like, it really wouldn't work. It only works in animation because it's bad ace in animation. And I'm just like, but what are you gonna do?
Right.
Um, yeah. Do you think there could be more animation studios?
Because of everything right now, it's kind of a weird situation. And especially with 2019, with STX Films trying to see if they could do it, but it didn't work out so well. It's hard to really do it. That's why I definitely like Netflix of like all of the streaming services because I feel like they're truly understanding, oh, let's pick up this random Oscar movie you didn't know existed when you heard Toy Story 4 and then some random French animated film, or actually making original animated movies or asking ex Disney Channel Cartoon Network employees to work on a show.
Hmm.
But with Blue Sky being gone, it definitely feels weird because they were like one of the studios you would hear in that list of US animated films,
Right.
and to have it gone, I'm just kind of curious who's going to pick up the slack, if it's going to be like Paramount or something like that.
Right on. Well, that's all I have in my notes. I don't have anything else. Was there anything else that you wanted to add to this as far as Blue Skies Studios and their closing down goes?
Yeah, I don't know how the Bob's Burgers movie is going
Oh,
to turn out, whether or not I know it's not a Blue Sky thing, but it's more of a Fox thing, and that's having theatrical problems. So I don't know whether or not Disney and Fox are just going to completely axe it, put it straight to DVD, put it on Animation Domination.
mm,
And speaking of that, a lot of people were curious as to whether or not the Animation Domination block on Sundays is going to survive or not. And
mm.
I looked into their ratings, and it ranges from like The Simpsons gets like 200 or 2,000, and then everything else kind of stays in the 1,000 range.
Hmm.
So I'm really curious if that's gonna stick around for much longer, considering Disney just completely axed Blue Sky. Who knows if Fox Animation, like Simpsons and Family Guy and all that stuff, are going to be axed next. But I'm not super sure because they air reruns of The Simpsons and Family Guy on FX, so I'm curious to see what happens with that.
Right on. Yeah. I like The Simpsons. I haven't watched it in a while, although it's on Disney Plus, so maybe I should start. I don't know. All right. Well, was there anything else that you wanted to add to this story?
No, that's it.
All right. Great. All right, guys. So tell me, what do you guys think about this story? How do you feel about Blue Sky Studios closing down? Are you bummed about it? Are you not bummed about it? Are you somebody that just doesn't care? How do you feel about these people losing their jobs? You should feel bad about it. If you don't, you're a monster. Yeah, go ahead and leave all your comments on this situation in that comment section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. You know, I won't mind. Spectre, you won't mind either, will you?
I wouldn't.
Awesome. And if you are new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. Go over to Spectre's channel. He does all animation. It's super great. You guys will love it. I promise. He does a lot of troll stuff. Trolls are great, everything. And I will see you guys on the next video. You guys have a good day. Bye.